In this video, we are speaking with Coolman Coffee Dan, the creator of Coolman's Universe NFT collection. As usual, nothing in this video is financial advice. We are not financial advisors, so always do your own research. And with no more ado, Coolman Coffee Dan. How's it going, Dan?
What's up, dude? Thanks for having me on, man. This is awesome.
Absolutely, our pleasure. So for people that don't know, you are the creator of the Coolman's Universe NFT collection, and the creator of much more. So I just wanted to start and give you a chance to kind of, talk about your background. You have a lot of accomplishments from before being in the NFT space. So I think it'd be interesting to hear what you were doing before and what led you to NFTs.
Yeah, man. It's been an interesting ride the past few years. I really only started blowing up from my drawings and animations in 2017, when I had just a weird random 3 in the morning idea, and I thought, hey, why not, experiment on this? I never really animated before, but coming from my video editing background, and I always drew growing up. I'd marry the two together and just see what the hell happened. And stayed up for an hour, went to bed 4 a.m. and cranked out this video and posted it. Didn't think much of it, and then a week later it went on to be like my most massive viral hit to date, with hundreds of millions of views. So that was like the first sort of inkling of like, hey, okay, cool, like people vibe with my sort of crude, simple, colorful style. Even if the animation or the visuals aren't anything crazy or insane, it's more so the message behind it, and that's why people, connected with that piece in particular. It was like a pseudo political piece about like fake news, not believing everything you read on the internet. So in the years that followed, 2018, 2019, I really started, gaining my stride, and the pages kept growing, and I also started playing a very heavy mental health angle through these characters, and that just kind of set everything into the stratosphere. And millions and millions of new followers year by year. And then just also branching out, doing enamel pins for the first time in 2018. In 2019, doing my first hoodies. And I just kept seeing this worldwide demand. I was like hoping I could meet the manufacturer's minimum of 300 units for the hoodies. It ended up selling like 1,100 worldwide. France, India, Brazil. And then I would do these live events and meet these people that would like be telling me how my videos and these animations and these characters helped them through very tough times. And it just kind of kept accumulating, man. And then everything that happened in 2020, like my videos were like anxiety calming sources for a bunch of people. And it wasn't until last year, 2021, when, I started really understanding what this whole NFT thing was, that I thought, hey, this would be a really interesting new avenue for me to explore. And now we're here, bro. 2022. Just, yeah, it's never been crazier. And these characters have never been more popular or more loved. And I have to pinch myself every day. This has always been the absolute dream, but it's just happening so much faster.
Did you, did you actually, were you creating art before this character? It sounds like that sort of, you got inspired and just came up with it. Or had you been doing art like prior to that?
I mean, so this character Spesh has been like the mascot ever since I started doubling down on animation the past few years. So it made sense when it came time to like, choose a visual, choose a character for this collection. I'm like, I'm gonna do my main dude. That's how, I want people to know I'm committed to this. It's not just some like random pump and dump shit. Like this is my life. But prior to 2017, yeah, dude, like I was doodling on everything. I mean, it was the dream to like doodle for a living, but I didn't know how to go about doing that. I would be like sketching on like my school homework, my class notes, on the like radiator next to me in chemistry class, 10th grade chemistry class, the school lunch trays, like that's what I was known as. It kind of became my social currency in a way, because I was that quiet loner type dude with like dark circles under my eyes in 7th grade. But through my, this is like before posting on the internet at all, through me literally drawing on like my social studies notes, and the kids around my desk like just kind of like bored out of their minds and then peering over and like watching me like doodle these like monsters and creatures and shit. They liked it. They like it became my thing. It became like, you know, what I was known for. And thank God for that, dude, because I was not a cool kid, you know. But through the art, I think I kind of, you know, gained some confidence through that. So at a very early age, you know, even like probably earlier, like, dude, like elementary school, fifth grade, I saw that my art kind of bridged these gaps and gained respect from people that maybe wouldn't have noticed me otherwise. So I've always been drawing.
That's awesome. And like, you talked about your viral moments. You had a lot of kind of highs in your career before the NFT space. How does the NFT space compare to everything that kind of came before it? And what's the ride been like? Because I'd imagine it's pretty gnarly.
Dude, you know, it was, I've never, this mentality of like, just go for it, like just jump into the piranha tank never failed me. That's what I did with that first video that I made at 3 in the morning. That's what I did with multiple instances throughout my career. And, you know, I think it always proves something. It always works to some degree, some higher, some, you know, larger than others. But like, that's what I kind of did here. You know, I started hearing about NFTs in January of 2021. And I was poking around a little bit. You know, I sold a few like one of ones on OpenSea in March of 2021, and I felt like I sold it for like 1 Ethereum. And then I transferred it wrong and I lost that 1 Ethereum, but I still felt cool. I was like, damn, let's go. Like there's interest here. But you know, I didn't really think too much of like what the larger play would be and like how I could tackle a larger project until I saw the generative project started coming out over that following summer. And I was like, okay, that's very interesting. Like I understood how it worked, but again, like not positive how this would play in my universe. And then I started meeting like some amazingly talented people that could help bring this to life and help just form the team to get this to go about doing it the right way. And so we started building it at the end of summer, August, September. And I was like, I'm just going to focus on the art, you know, the story, the lore. And I'll let all these other people that are good at what they do their thing. And I had no expectations, dude. Like, you know, I have my following, but I'm like, these people, like, these are like, they're not going to buy my NFTs. Maybe a few of them will, but the success in this project truly lies in the people that find out about me and fuck my with my work, the crypto native people that like see my pages and enjoy the aesthetic and the character and what I stand for. And that could only happen organically, right? It just has to like you have to just form that relationship. You can't rush into it. So, you know, jumping into Twitter Spaces, talking more in the Discord. It was like slowly but surely, like September, October, like we were growing a little bit. Like the Discord was maybe at, you know, a few thousand. And then at some point, dude, in like November, it just started gaining some steam pretty exponentially. And I started being like, damn, this thing might actually like mint out. And then by early December, it was like no question that I was going to mint out. And then it just like kept growing. And I was like, oh shit, like this is actually a thing now. And you know, we on public mint day, we sold out in 2 minutes. So it was very much like me. I wanted to approach it in the right way. If I got too hyped up, I'm like, the only way I'm going to do this project is if it mints out and if like I start seeing the attention and the you know, the allure from people like day one of me announcing that I'm going to do like, dude, that doesn't work out. You know, you have to like gain people's trust. You have to like let people know what you're all about, educate people as to what your story is, and just form that trust, which that only takes time. There's no rushing that. It was a nice, slow process, man. I wouldn't have done it any other way. And I'm glad that I had those 4 or 5 months of just easing into it, you know, and just saying like, yo, like whether this shit is a success or not, I'm Danny Casal, Coolman Owns. Here's what I do. Here's what I'm all about. And you know, just reminding people that like, you know, this art is my life, whether or not this shit is a success. So I'm very happy with how it unfolded. It's totally different than any other project I've ever gone about doing, man.
Uh, I mean, it's impressive the traction that you've gotten so far, and I mean, you already had millions of followers on Instagram, so clearly people resonated with the project. So it's not completely surprising. I think the response that it's received, but I'm wondering, you've been used to just creating art. How are you actually making money before NFTs? You mentioned selling hoodies, even 1,000 hoodies. I mean, that sounds great. I don't know, maybe that does pay the bills for a sufficient period of time, but I'm just
Yeah,
wondering, like,
it's a good question. I mean, dude, it's like it's the tale as old as time. Like, how does this artist pay their bills, you know? I was hustling around New York City, around Brooklyn, shooting music videos that had nothing to do with animation.
mm,
Shooting these like corporate videos for like 300, $400 just to like, eat, and keep the lights on. And, that was my life for a little bit. But I mean, the first check I ever got from drawing and from like, utilizing my small Instagram audience at the time and my doodles was this website company like paid me like a few grand, to doodle some visuals for them and some characters and post about it. And that was like an eye opener for me, man. Just seeing like, oh wow, like there's like someone values my work for like thousands of dollars. Like, sure, it's this corporation, but holy shit, dude. I was texting my mom and dad about it. I was like, this is the most amount of money I've ever made from like my drawings ever. And it's kind of ebbed and flowed since then. I've worked with like brands like Samsung in the past. Um, and then, figuring out my merch play a little bit. That made a little bit of money, but um, it was really just a mixture of like finding a brand to work with, hopefully selling some degree of like merch, and that was kind of it for like the past 4 years, to be honest with you. Um, it wasn't until the past few months of me seeing how big this thing could actually be, where I was like, oh wow, people are putting like this amount of value on this animated universe, and that's when like I started recalibrating in my brain as to, oh shit, like for the first time in my creative career, like I could tackle these big projects. I could do those big ideas that I've always dreamed of. But dude, I thought that was going to be like 20 years in the future, if it even happened. And now it's happening like in the past month, so it's been a little bit of like rewiring my brain because it happened to such a degree that I wouldn't have expected like 6 months ago. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, it's gonna be a fun year. It's gonna be a fun year.
I have one follow-on thing here. In terms of your project, that one distinction which is different, and actually the NFT that we dropped actually falls into the same category, but copyright aspect of this, and also ownership of the IP. You've built a brand on top of Species, and you've put in all that effort. So you came to this project with that intellectual property versus something like a Bored Ape or something like that, where basically the intellectual property was created, but no one knew, who they were or who the artists were or anything else like that beforehand. Has that like come up at all in terms of an issue, or like, and also secondarily, what would you say is like the key utility um, that you're viewing for the project right now, in terms of like what the community gets out of it? Is it community? Like, yeah, that would be the main question.
It's a good question. So the whole goal, like Coolman's universe, is providing real value back to the people that invest in it. So, and it goes back to like square one. Like if somebody followed me on Instagram or on TikTok or YouTube, I view that as currency, dude. You're like dedicating your time and your energy to want to see more shit from me. Something piqued your interest, right? You want to see more of it. So I want to like, over redeliver and just like smother you with the good vibes and love and content that you signed up, that you pressed that follow button for. So it's not that much different here. To answer your question, it is like there's virtual utility, there's hella IRL utility, you know, some of which was announced in the quarter one roadmap. But around the IP situation, it is very different, you know. And as I learned more about what Klon did with Cool Cats, I was like, it's probably going to be more of a Cool Cat sort of model than a Bored Ape sort of model because these characters did pre-exist. But that's how much, you know, much like what Klon did with his character is like that's how much trust we're putting into this world and this amazing movement. You know, we're not creating this one-off character like anybody can do, really. Scribble something on a notepad and say like this is the new generative collection, but like this is like my SpongeBob, this is my Hello Kitty, you know, and I'm putting it as the face of Coolman's universe. So there was some like, you know, feeling out around the IP language for that, and we got that all updated in the updated version of the website a few days ago. Because I do that. There's so much value, man, in being able to do something with your unique spesh. You know, you want to pop it on a T-shirt or make a poster out of it. You want to make a bunch of stickers out of it. You want to, you know, spray paint it on the side of your restaurant. Like, dude, that shit's awesome. And to me, you know, from the artist standpoint, it's like, fuck yeah, dude. Like that's how you know, contribute to like pushing the culture forward. People doing cool things with their species. So we got all that legal language nailed. I really want it to be in the owner's favor, you know, the unique spesh. So it was a little bit of a different thing, like talk about, you know, rewiring. Like it had to be figured out though. It's important, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, you did the hard part, which is to build out the brand beforehand, and then obviously that legal stuff is kind of part of the equation. Focused on the money, like, you know, you talked about being a music video director in New York. I literally did that for like 4 years, directed hip hop
Hell
videos in
yeah.
New York City. So I definitely
Hell yeah,
know.
dude.
I know that that grind, and it's a hard grind, right? Like actually, it's not scalable in the same way that selling an NFT is. So I'd imagine that when you sold the primary, you know, sold out the primary sale for Coolman's, it must have been crazy, like a crazy feeling, right? But my biggest curiosity is what's it like to see the work now trade on the secondary market? And as we're doing this right now, I just checked, the floor is being like aggressively swept, aggressively. And like you
My
said, it
God.
has been for the past 48 hours.
Dude.
And we saw it run up high before the reveal, then do the typical post reveal dump, then the gradual run up, and now what seems to be like a parabolic blow off top run up while we're doing this show. What is it like to see this stuff that you created be traded like, you know, a stock or like a commodity, you know, high frequency trading or day trading or swing trading?
When I was maybe 22 years old, dude, I had a dream that my drawings were on this jumbotron in Times Square, and I woke up and I was like fucking excite like that shit excited me for like the next 3 weeks of my life, dude. Like I something about having my drawings, like the shit that comes out of my fingertips, um, you know, like put out there into the world and sort of like living on their own and being passed around and living amongst the people, the humans of this planet on their own, separate from me. You know, like a mama bird just letting their baby bird, you know, spread their wings and fly on their own. That's what this feels like, man. It's always been, you know, I say this so much, it's cliche, but this has always been the dream where, you know, whether it was through a TV show or whether it was through a book or whether, you know, it was through these NFTs, like I wanted nothing more than just to see my characters and my creatures living amongst society, you know, even if I did like baseball cards and they were like being traded around and I would see one in the wild somewhere in like a cafe, like what that does to my brain, bro, it makes me so it like smashes my dopamine button. The fact that people are, you know, some days, you know, crazier than others, but like people are trading these around like to massive degrees, dude. The most expensive, especially was just cop today about an hour ago by Casper for 15 ETH, I believe.
Yeah, I saw that.
Um,
And by the way, 25 sales or so in the past like 2 minutes. Just if you want to talk about high
oh
frequency.
Jesus Christ, bro. Yeah, no, like it's almost like I can't really wrap my mind around this, you know, because even when I would drop a video and you would see like 10,000 likes in the first few minutes, even when I would drop like that hoodie in 2019 and I wasn't expecting like, oh my God, like 80 orders in the first, 10 minutes. Like this is all that, but just times 100 and over a month later, bro, like I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. But to answer your question, as like, the creator, as the artist of these little, these are my babies, man. And the fact that people, are just like passing them around and getting so much joy out of them and vibing with them, dude, it's like it's fueling me every day. Really every day after mint, man. My life has never been the same because of what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty incredible to see the activity and demand. I wonder, like, is there someone was posting in the comments something about Crocs, and someone else had mentioned that earlier. Is there some partnership or something? Like, do you know what's driving this, or is this just like, I mean, secondarily, like the entire NFT market is exploding right now. I mean, when you look at overall aggregate volume, we're at like all-time highs for the past few days. You have things like Bored Apes hitting 117 ETH floor, which is pretty bonkers, and a lot of the other ones, Mutants almost at 28 ETH, which is ridiculous. So people start looking down, and I think that's one aspect of it. But is there something else driving this?
Dude, I mean, yeah, so there's like a cool Crocs collab dropping in a short amount of time. I don't want to put a date on it, but we're doing some really cool like giveaways around it. And like, anytime something like big happens, I really want to like make it that much more awesome and build some like real creative like just giving back to the community sort of initiative. So that will be announced very soon. But I think like every time someone drops up in the Discord and says, like, why is the floor pumping? Why is the floor pumping? I like it's kind of like a joke at this point. Like I just like respond back and I say like two words, big vibes or whatever. But people are like, it's not for any clear reason. It's not like, oh shit, like Gwyneth Paltrow bought a spesh, which hasn't happened yet. But uh like, you know, some small thing might happen which may trigger like someone to sweep the like 10 species, right? And then like someone else sees that and it's just like people start like getting real excited and then like I hop on this podcast and then like people start talking up in the Discord about Crocs and like all these like things start accumulating together and then the result is what the past 48 hours have been, which is just like dude, I think it went from like point 0.9 to like now almost point 0.7 in legit 2 days. So, you know, I really do credit the community that was built around Coolman's universe to all the hype that accumulates, every few weeks, every few days, because it really is just like it's that party you want to be invited to, man. It's you hop on the Discord at any hour of the day and you just see real genuine good people vibing out with each other, laughing, having a good time, checking in on each other. You don't see that I think a ton, especially in this new like NFT space. Like, you have people like who are trying to like get something out of each other or whatever. I'm not saying it doesn't happen at all, but like these genuine good vibe communities need to happen more. And when you hop into the Cool Man's Universe Discord, you see like, dude, you could be a dude or a girl who's never owned an NFT, doesn't know shit about NFTs, and maybe you're a little curious. You hop up into that Discord, you got like 20 people like saying like, yeah, how can I help you? Like, what do you want to know? Like, what's up? Welcome. Like, it's beautiful, man. And if nothing else, like I could have sold, like 3 NFTs on public mint day. Like it could have been an absolute flop. But if we had like a dope community up in the Discord and on Twitter of people like who really care about each other, then that's worth it to me, man. Um, I really do think it's because of the people that are involved in this, and it's only going to continue to grow as people continue to find out about it. Just the past few days, dude, I'm like reminded of like these insane, power player names that are just like nothing but love in the Cool Man's Universe community, man. It's big vibes.
I mean,
I
it seems like it. Go ahead, Nick.
I was going to ask about the business aspect, or were you about to ask about that
Yeah,
as
that's what
well?
I was going to ask about. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, but I want to ask it. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, what I wanted to ask, and you've touched on a bunch of these different things a little bit so far. So just to kind of ask it directly, like for the future of the project, right? This stuff is being fleshed out in the NFT space, like what these things really look like as long-term businesses. And it's becoming apparent that that's really what they are. So it sounds
Mm.
like there's some partnerships that are coming up. There's other kind of avenues that you've hinted at and you've already mentioned. Like, what does the future look like for Coolman's universe to be like a sustainable business?
Yeah, dude. So, and I think that's like what a lot of projects are scrambling to figure out. The good thing about where I was coming from, using Cool Man's Universe is like a new avenue for my characters and sort of like a new endeavor, um, is that so much of the business framework and foundation has been laid in the past few years. So a lot of the things that I think a lot of projects like really rush to figure out is already done. Like there's already like a real dope merch manufacturing model that all I had to do was just like give the green light to expand on that little extra bit to now, cater to this new audience. Um, all the, brand relationships I already been doing that. And then of course, and possibly the most potent of everything is the not yet crypto native community of 9 million, 10 million people that follow my work, who have been following my work for the past few years. Um, there's a really interesting play here, dude, that I think is going to happen quicker than people think, where my master plan is to merge the Web 2 audience of 10 million followers that I got to this new Web 3 audience that may have discovered me in the past 6 months, and slowly but surely and organically merge the two, until it's one. And a few exciting conversations happened the past few days where which made me say I think it's going to happen quicker than I might have realized. But um, the business play here is kind of what I've already been doing the past few years, just on steroids. So where like I said this on another podcast, so it's not like total alpha, but I turned down a Nickelodeon franchise deal in October, a few months ago. The deal wasn't good enough, and they wanted to own everything, and it just wasn't the right timing. And this is 2 months before, mint. So shit was already brewing, bro. Like, this shit is already on track to be like, I'm hell bent on making this shit a TV show, dude. I'm hell bent on making this shit a viable clothing line. My good buddy out here is Ryan, the owner of Rip and Dip. He's fucking amped on Cool Man's Universe. Like, dude, where this goes is sky fucking high. And now through Cool Man's Universe success, it just expedited the whole process. Every opportunity has been like burst open. And now it's just a matter of picking and choosing which doors I
Warner
want to walk through.
Brothers or Paramount? Like, which
Yeah,
one are you
dude.
go? Which one are you going with? Or
Like,
Disney?
yeah, a few months ago, all those doors were like very hard to open up. You need a crowbar, and then on public mint day, like sticks of dynamite blew all those shits open. And now truly, it's just a matter of me choosing like which one do I feel most comfortable walking through? Which one do I want? And that's a great empowering feeling, of course, but it's also like you have to navigate that, man. You have to like do this shit the right way, because this is my life's work, man. Like there's no alternative to this shit, dying out. Like what am I gonna I don't want to go back to New York and make more music videos, bro. These music videos sucked. They were so bad. I never want to do it again. There were a lot of good ones. But this is my everything. Like I said, this is my Mickey Mouse, man. Like I
Well,
want this to be my whole life, the rest of my life and beyond.
well, you have a business that basically the market cap on just NFTs right now is worth nearly $50 million. So I think when you think about it that way, the door is open.
Yeah, it's open.
No, you totally should have sold it all to Nickelodeon. I'm sure it was a fair
um,
deal.
but
Dude, oh my God.
So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting to see that happen. Like, I guess the way that I think about it is there's multiple different types of entrepreneurs that are operating in this space. There's creators, and when I say creators, I should actually specify artists. We're creators technically. We have a podcast, we have an audience. We just are not as adept with the paintbrush, pencil, or digital art systems. So
Sure.
so all we do is spout out bullshit all day. So which is a
It
skill.
works.
And
It works.
so when I think about like categorically, what we also have is like we're into software development, for example, and building software products. But I think like what you lean into with that business, it sounds like what you're leaning on is basically the intellectual property side of this, and then partnerships associated with that. Would that be a good assessment?
Yeah, man. I mean, the beautiful thing about art, we'll use Mickey Mouse as an example. Like Mickey Mouse can go, he could be the main star of a movie. He could be an amusement park ride. He could be a toothbrush. You know, when you have good art that people connect to emotionally, it could be anything. You know, it could be a sticker, a button, a hoodie, a plushie, a couch, you know, a billboard, a blimp. Dude, it could be everything and anything. And yes, it really is like, yes, the IP, as simple as that sounds, it's everything. You know, it's a TV show as much as it is a Broadway play. Like it just captures it all, you know? And I think that's like it's different, I think, to me when you have IP ownership on like something IRL, like if you're like a, you know, if whatever, like if you're a human or if it's like a show with a cast of humans, but with, you know, with cartoon characters, like you capture that universal appeal. You know, you think of like a Mickey Mouse, or you think of anime or SpongeBob or Hello Kitty or, you know, The Simpsons, like it something about cartoons just captures the world, and it has that universal appeal regardless of language barrier, of cultural barriers, like, and that's why my pages have 10 million, you know, followers, dude. It's like I'm not fucking famous, bro. I could walk down Hollywood Boulevard right now. Nobody would, you know, turn their head, which is great. It's my work. It's my characters that people love. Like it's loved by, you know, the 13-year-old down the street over here in LA as much as it's loved by the 9-year-old in India, as much as it's loved by the 30-year-old in Brazil, dude. Like, and that was this none of this is fucking planned. Like, you know, it just totally figuring this shit out as I went the past few years, and kind of all by mistake. But like that's the beauty of these cartoon characters and these animated characters, this animated world, this universe is like the appeal is not the US. It's not Western territory. It's like the fucking world, bro. And that's what's crazy is where that goes. Like, what do we got? 7 billion people, bro? Like, let's go, man. Like, I want everybody to come across and meet these characters at some point, and hopefully be positively, you know, impacted by it. Hopefully it brings them a smile. 7 billion smiles. Let's fucking do it, you know?
Epic. I mean, oh, Nick, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, you know, the global appeal is huge because there's kind of been speculation that the Asian markets have come into the NFT space, and you know, when you kind of see the things that people think appeal to those markets, I feel like Coolman's absolutely. I mean, Coolman's just seems like to me, like you said, that it just has universal appeal. You know, I mean, we're saying this as the floor gets swept. We bought one this morning on our trading wallet. Our third
We're up 0.5 ETH, baby.
Yeah. Our
Holy
third
shit.
our third
Dude.
co-host, sophisticated art speculator Captain Kicks, is DMing me on the side like, should I buy more? Should I buy more? I think he bought at least 5 since the show started. He said he liked your vibe. I told him that,
Let's go.
I told him one of those is for me, so count me as a holder too. I also quickly opened our Discord, and I'm just seeing a bunch of people post the Coolmans that they just bought. So I think our Discord is aping in right now.
Yo, let's go. It's a party, dude. It's a cool man party. Let's go.
It's a degen party happening right now in our Discord, which is literally it's hilarious. It's always entertaining seeing this because Fortunately, I'm actually grateful that anybody in our Discord is buying this rather than half the garbage that I'm seeing them buy on a regular basis. So this is very exciting, and we're grateful that you've created something, a product that, I mean, is just high quality. I see people like yourself deserve to succeed in this ecosystem,
Thanks, man.
because you've been building something of value, and it didn't come from a place of like, oh, I mean, everyone was like, "Oh shit, this NFTs thing is a thing." Like, let's be clear, we've all thought that, but I think the distinction is that wasn't like the motivating factor behind your creative inspiration. And I think right now, for a lot of us, the motivating factor behind our creative inspiration is like, oh, there's a lot of money involved in this space right now. So to have people like yourself who are genuine creators who've been building, brands for a long period of time, building intellectual property, it's exciting to see your success, and I think it's well deserved. We'll be excited to see where you decide to go with that. We're also figuring, all of us are figuring it out in our own way. We know what we're building for the time being, but
Mm.
I don't know if any of us know, what the indefinite plan is for some of this, because you even think Bored Ape Yacht Club didn't anticipate Bored Ape Yacht Club to become the
Yeah.
#1 NFT in
But
the
dude, I
space,
think that's
basically.
the only way to do it, bro, because like you think of like you ever have that buddy that like sits you down and you're like, he's like, bro, like I have this idea for a business. It's gonna be $1 billion market cap. It's fucking like just like leashes for turtles, bro. Like, and you're like, what's your plan? He's like, I don't know, man, but it's gonna be $1 billion. And he just like skips all the steps in between, and he like, you ask about him, you ask about it like a week later. It's like, he's out. He's like, dude, I don't know, I'm not
He's an
doing it anymore.
ideas guy. He's an ideas
Yeah,
guy.
bro. Like
Yeah.
the only way to do it to me, and I see like success for people that do it this way, like how you guys are, like exactly like you were just describing it. It's just taking it day by day, bro. Just like you have an idea, you give it a shot, and you go to bed that night and you're like, was that fun? Yes, cool. Let's do it again tomorrow. You do it again the next day, maybe a little bit better, maybe a little bit more. Maybe that you have one extra viewer or listener, right? And you're like, go to bed and you're like, was that cool? Yeah, fuck yeah, that was awesome. Let's do it again. 300 days later, 1 year later, 2 years later, like it just grows, dude. There's no way it's not going to grow. And also it's just like it's easier on the psyche. You're like you just take it day by day, hour by hour. You're constantly like checking in with yourself, seeing how you're feeling about it. Fuck the alternative, which is like if I don't hit this, if I don't have 10 million subscribers 6 months from now, I'm a fucking failure. You're teeing yourself up for success. You're gonna burn out. You're gonna think you're worthless. To me, dude, as a creative, like y'all are creatives, like the only way to do it is just to jump in, have a good time while you're doing it, and see what the fuck happens, along the way, and just, handling it as you go. Like, oh shit, like here we are. We just hit this milestone. Did you expect that? I don't think so. Let's keep it going. That's and you just it's just the most fun way to do it, man.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. One last question. This is an NFT trade talk show. Obviously, there's crazy activity on Coolman's universe, so not really much to be said besides congratulations. But we're wondering,
Thank you.
do you trade at all? Did you collect anything? Like, what projects have you bought?
Oh, dude, I just bought my first Cool Cat like a week ago. That was my first big purchase. I also bought a piece by Vinny Hager. So those are the two homies right now. I wanted to support them and just make a small splash in the puddle. But I linked up with them for the first time 2 weeks ago out here in LA, and they, just like it made me feel so understood, and just to meet these other artists who are doing their thing. Um, and yeah, dude, I have a few other projects that I have my eye on. I'm building up my arsenal right now. I have a MFer, I have a crypto dick butt. I have a few other ones, but it's been cool, man. It's been like as much of a learning experience as it's been for my own project, just also poking around and seeing what these other projects are doing. We just held a fun little contest with Wonder Pals. The artist Mina is incredible artist, dude. She's fucking killing it. And we were vibing out on on FaceTime a few days ago. So really, it's like I use whatever. Like I want to meet the artists for a lot of these big projects that are on the come up and just like catch their vibe. And then, if we're having a good time together or we're just relating to each other and I see you as a friend, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm all in. That's my gauge.
Someone just posted, and I appreciate that comment, that he should get a Nifty Portal. Hey, we're not here to pressure people, okay, audience? We're not here to pressure them into grabbing a Nifty Portal, our NFT at thenifty.com/NFT. But we do greatly appreciate you saying
Dude,
that.
let's go, man.
All
right, all right.
We really, it's actually really cheap right now. The floor is below 0.15. I just want to let you know that. Created by a phenomenal artist named Thomas Dubois, and we may be doing additional work with him in the future. But check it out. It's thenifty.com/NFT. But I'm not here to pressure our guest, everybody. Come on.
I'm gonna take a peek. That was a very it's weird that that was such like an organic chat, plug there, What a coincidence.
They call me a natural salesperson. Actually, literally no one says that outside of my family, but and that's maybe me just persuading them to do things because I need their money and other stuff to support my degeneracy. So anyways, it's been phenomenal to have you on. We really gratefully appreciate you joining today. If you're in the audience and you didn't grab one of these species, what are you doing? I mean, we mentioned on the show this morning, basically we were like, look, every time we do this show, and we're not taking credit, I want to be clear, the market is supporting this, but every time one of these interviews is coming up, the floor just starts cranking. And so if you don't own one, you got to join the community and hop in their Discord as well. And I think the best way to find out, your website is updated as well, coolmansuniverse.com is probably one of the best places to check them out. And then also, what's your Twitter?
I'm at Cool Coffee Dan. That's my personal on Twitter, or Coolman Universe on Twitter is the project's Twitter. Also Coolman Coffee Dan on Instagram and TikTok if you want to check out the vibes I'm putting out to the masses. And yeah, man, this is awesome, dude. I appreciate y'all having me on, man. It's a true pleasure. I feel like, I've been joking around with my friends about this. If I were to try to describe what's happening to myself a year ago, I just wouldn't be able to understand. I just, what the fuck are you talking about? Because art has always been put last, man. Artists have always been put last. Getting paid $200 for a music video in New York City, it's always been last. How can we undervalue the artist the most? And for the first time in history, man, at least as far as I'm aware, you have artists being put first, and you have some really exciting things happening finally, dude, like you have people rallying behind this art that people dedicate their whole lives to building. It's a really cool movement, man. And, I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm grateful that folks like you, good folks like you are a part of it. And we're going to be looking back on this shit, man, like a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, just like it was like a Renaissance period, bro. I've never been so sure of anything in my life, man. This is wild times, and I'm just stoked to be here, man, if nothing else.
Well, we're grateful. I was going to say the same thing. So yeah, really grateful to have you. Thanks again. And thank you, audience, for joining. We appreciate you. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to smash that subscribe button, like break your monitor. We're not responsible for that. And then we say lick the like. It's gross. People have gotten sick and hospitalized for it. But just look, don't lick your phone. Use like your desktop computer screen. That's only dust on there, not like you haven't been carried this phone around in your pocket. So don't lick that one. Anyways, thanks again, and we'll see you in the next interview or episode.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
Have a great one.
Guys.